Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. The DTC P0460 refers to a situation where the fuel level sensor, also known as the fuel gauge sending unit, generates an output voltage that falls outside the specified range. This causes the powertrain control module, PCM, to detect an abnormality, prompting it to store this diagnostic trouble code. The fuel level sensor is crucial as it provides real-time data on the fuel level to the gauge in the dashboard, which informs the driver about the fuel available in the tank. The sensor is typically found integrated with the fuel tank unit, a component located at the bottom of the fuel tank. When the sensor malfunctions, the displayed fuel level may either show inaccurate readings or completely fail, potentially leading to driving range miscalculations. Understanding the implications of this code can help in diagnosing and resolving fuel-related issues effectively. The P0460 code indicates that the fuel level sensor's output is out of range, as monitored by the powertrain control module, PCM. The fuel level sensor is integral in providing fuel level information to the driver via the gauge on the dashboard. It is located within the fuel tank unit, designed to give precise readings based on the fuel's height. If the sensor's signal deviates outside the predetermined parameters, it alerts the PCM that something is amiss, leading it to trigger the DTC P0460. This malfunction can severely impact driving safety, as inaccurate fuel readings could lead to unexpected engine shutoffs. Hence, the fuel level sensor's role is critical, not just for convenience, but for overall vehicle functionality and safety. It's vital for mechanics to grasp the importance of this sensor when interpreting DTCs related to fuel levels. Several factors can trigger the DTC P0460, each of which could contribute to the fuel level sensor's inability to function correctly. The most common cause is a faulty fuel gauge sending unit, which serves as the sensor measuring the actual fuel level. Another possibility is the presence of open circuits in the wiring that connects the sensor to the PCM, which could interrupt the communication needed to relay accurate readings. Conversely, short circuits in wiring can also lead to incorrect voltage output being transmitted to the PCM. Finally, a malfunctioning gauge control module could also be at fault, as it processes the sensor data and displays the fuel level on the dashboard. Identifying the specific cause involves systematically testing each potential issue within the entire fuel level monitoring system. When dealing with DTC P0460, you may notice several key symptoms signaling that something is wrong with the fuel level sensor system. The most apparent sign is an inaccurate fuel gauge reading. For instance, the gauge may show a full tank when it's nearly empty, leading to potential running out of fuel unexpectedly. Alternatively, you might observe the fuel gauge stuck at a certain level without reflecting changes in amount, which can be equally disconcerting. Additionally, the check engine light will likely illuminate, serving as a diagnostic alert to the driver. In some cases, the fuel gauge might become entirely unresponsive, not providing any reading at all. Identifying these symptoms early on can prevent further complications and ensure safer driving. The first step in troubleshooting the P0460 code involves preparing your vehicle for diagnosis. Start by turning the ignition to the on mode without starting the engine. It's important to leave it in this position for about 30 seconds. This allows the powertrain control module, PCM, to initialize and gather necessary data for analysis, including running self-diagnostics on the engine and associated systems. When the vehicle is in on mode, check if there are any immediate diagnostic trouble codes present besides P0460. This procedure sets the stage for a thorough inspection by ensuring the PCM has had adequate time to prepare for real-time diagnostic analysis, thereby facilitating more accurate testing in subsequent steps. In the second troubleshooting step for DTC P0460, focus on the fuel gauge sending unit. This component is located within the fuel tank unit and plays a critical role in providing accurate fuel level readings. Begin by visually inspecting the wiring and connectors associated with the fuel gauge sending unit for any signs of wear, corrosion, or damage. Ensure that the 4P connector is properly disconnected to facilitate the testing process. Once disconnected, you can utilize a multimeter to check for any fault conditions, focusing on open and shorted circuits. Essentially, you're verifying that the sensor is properly sending signals to the gauge control module. If abnormalities are found during this inspection, addressing them could lead to resolving the P0460 code. The third step in troubleshooting DTC P0460 involves inspecting the external circuit wiring associated with the fuel gauge system. Begin by focusing on the two primary signals, fuel gauge plus and fuel gauge minus. You'll want to check these circuits to ensure there is a solid electrical connection and that they are free from damage or disruption. Specifically, measure the resistance on these circuits using a multimeter. Normal conditions should read less than 1 ohm. If you find an open wire condition, further investigation is warranted to trace the wiring back to its source for potential faults. This step is crucial because any failures in the wiring can directly influence the accuracy and reliability of the fuel level readings provided to the PCM, impacting the diagnosis thereafter. The fourth step in addressing DTC P0460 focuses on the gauge control module, which is essential in interpreting signals from the fuel gauge sending unit. This module processes the information relayed via the fuel gauge plus and fuel gauge minus circuits and transforms it into a readable fuel level displayed on the vehicle's dashboard. To troubleshoot this component, ensure that any previous steps have confirmed that the fuel gauge sending unit and wiring are functioning correctly. If everything else checks out normal, the gauge control module may be defective. You'll want to perform additional diagnostic tests specific to this module to determine its operational integrity. Any faults found in the gauge control module can directly contribute to misreading fuel levels, making it a crucial final step in the troubleshooting process. After completing the troubleshooting process for DTC P0460, it is essential to verify that all repairs conducted are successful. Begin by double-checking each connection and circuit that was involved in the initial diagnosis to ensure everything is secure. Once satisfied with the physical connections, perform a functionality test by turning the vehicle to the on mode and observing the fuel gauge. It should reflect current fuel levels accurately without interruptions. Additionally, monitor the PCM for any lingering trouble codes. If the P0460 code does not reappear and the gauge operates correctly, the issue has been resolved, marking a successful repair process. This stage is crucial to confirm that no further underlying issues persist. To prevent recurrence of issues associated with DTC P0460, implementing a routine preventive maintenance schedule is advisable. Regularly inspecting the wiring connected to the fuel gauge sending unit and the gauge control module can help in identifying any wear, brittleness, or corrosion before they lead to significant failures. Additionally, it is vital to periodically check the functionality of the entire fuel level system to ensure it operates as intended. This includes physically observing fuel gauge readings over time and noting any discrepancies. Addressing potential fault conditions before they escalate can help maintain accurate fuel level readings, ultimately promoting vehicle safety and reliability. Preventive steps can also save time and costs related to unexpected repairs in the future. In conclusion, understanding DTC P0460 and the role of the fuel level sensor is pivotal for effective vehicle maintenance and repair, especially in the Honda Civic 2022 Plus. The fuel gauge sending unit, integrated within the fuel tank unit, provides critical data to the PCM, which influences overall vehicle performance. Recognizing the various potential causes of the DTC, such as faulty wiring or malfunctioning components, allows for an informed and systematic approach to troubleshooting. Employing the outlined diagnostic steps ensures that technicians can identify and rectify the root cause promptly. Regular preventive maintenance can greatly reduce the likelihood of similar issues arising in the future. Recognizing the importance of these components fosters a safe driving experience and enhances the longevity of the vehicle. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.